You got to understand that black Americans are the blueprint. Black Americans are the clear sandbox blueprint that we are going to be utilized to pretty much make way for everybody else to get whatever interest they have.
African Americans, overall black culture is really the blueprint.
When you think of your favorite style icon, it's probably a black American. Your favorite artist, it's probably a black American.
So they're trying to whitewash our history and we don't even care. We're okay with not knowing who we are. We're okay with sending our children to school and allowing the white man, the oppressors, to teach us who we are.
Black women have been the backbone holding up a country that is too often pretending like we just don't exist to begin with.
Only ignorant person can deny the fact that Black Americans are the blueprint. And for several times on this channel, we have watched many videos of immigrants, especially Black immigrants, disrespecting Black Americans. And I have called out these kind of behaviors for several times. But today, I want you to watch this video, because after watching this video, you will understand the reasons why Black Americans deserve respect. Watch it until the end, and as you're watching, remember to share your ideas down there in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video.
Hi, not a hot take, but I'm here to piss you off on a Sunday. Black Americans are the blueprint. Look at yourselves. Look at your reflection. Who do you look like? Hi! Oh! How are you? Like when you think of your favorite style icon, it's probably a black American. Your favorite artist, it's probably a black American. The person who has influenced your style was probably influenced by a black American. I know. Y'all gonna be like, oh my God, y'all gonna act like we don't have stars, like we don't have famous people. And again, influenced by black Americans. Oh, you're not black? Still influenced by black Americans. The whole world is influenced by black Americans. You just think it's not from us. But if we stop giving y'all shit, what you gonna have? Nothing, bitch. Nothing. We've seen y'all style before the internet where we could share our style. Y'all looked horrible. So yes, black Americans are the blueprint. Yes, we are the epicenter. When we were off of this motherfucking app on punishment, y'all missed us so bad. There was nothing going on this bitch. There was nothing for you to talk about. There was nothing for you to engage. There wasn't shit, right? Because black Americans make the world go round. Niggas make the world go round.
The immigrants are marching in our streets, demanding things from us and acting entitled to our land. And now I have a bunch of lice babies in my comment section saying, your land? This is not your land. Your land is in Africa. This land belongs to the natives. You better be careful because Trump is going to come after you people next and you're going to have to leave. So I just wanted to come and point out a couple of facts because I see you people lack knowledge. You're not that educated, so I'm here to teach you. I'm going to tell you about a few of just 3 of the black towns, the successful, thriving black towns that were destroyed by angry white mobs. Let's start here. Before Central Park was created, the landscape along what is now the park's perimeter from West 82nd to West 89th Street was the site of Seneca Village, a community of predominantly black Americans, many of whom owned property. Seneca Village was established in 1825. 1825. The village was formed when landowners John and Elizabeth Whitehead subdivided their land and sold it as 200 lots, primarily to free black residents. Free black residents in 1825, but slavery didn't end until 1863. So if there were free black residents in 1825, that means that they were not enslaved. Free black residents. So they were not slaves, which means they had to be natives to this land because according to you, all the black people came here on ships from Africa to be slaves. So if there were black people here building and living, they were not slaves, which means they are native. Now let's talk about the Wilmington Massacre. The Wilmington Insurrection of 1898, also known as the Wilmington Massacre of 1898, was a municipal-level coup and a massacre that was carried out by white supremacists in Wilmington, North Carolina, United States on Thursday, November 10th, 1898. In 1860, just before the American Civil War, before slavery ended, Wilmington was the state's largest city with a population of nearly 10,000, most of whom were black. So they had a population of 10,000, mostly of who were black before slavery ended, which means they were freedmen, which means they were not slaves, which means they were Native American, the true Indians. Now, last but most certainly not least, let's talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma, the one that we're most familiar with, Black Wall Street. The foundations of the Greenwood District and Black Wall Street were built in the 1830s when African Americans first migrated to Oklahoma. But let's look at why these Black Americans migrated to Oklahoma. The Indian Removal Act and Trail of Tears. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, forced Native American tribes to relocate from their southeastern homelands to Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma. The forced migration of Native American tribes, including those with enslaved people, to Indian Territory in the 1830s and 1840s, set the stage for the later development of Black Wall Street. They're trying to say it happened later, but no, I just showed you something that said that the land started to be established. Black Wall Street started to be built in 1830 when the Indians were forced to go to Oklahoma. We are the Indians. In 1830, slavery was not over, which means we were the Native Americans. And this is why they're trying to destroy our history. Because if they don't destroy our history and erase it, then we will be smart enough to do our research, and then we will realize, hold on, we were building these towns before slavery was over, which means we could not have been the slaves. They don't want us to know that all of us weren't slaves, so they're trying to whitewash our history, and we don't even care. We're okay with not knowing who we are. We're okay with sending our children to school and allowing the white man, the oppressors, to teach us who we are and teach us their history, because like I said, we don't care, and it's time for us to wake up. We are the Native Americans. We are the Indians, which means this is our land. Black power forever.
All Black Americans, I need you to listen up, man, because I'm about to teach you guys something. It's something very important that we all have to understand, especially in 2026. You got to understand that Black Americans are the blueprint. Black Americans are the clear sandbox blueprint that we are going to be utilized to pretty much make way for everybody else to get whatever interest they have involved in this country established, right? I mean, you got to think about it logically, right? The civil rights platform was made for our community, and so far it's only benefited Latinos, Latinas, women, right? And other demographics of immigrants who've come through the door. We got the Asian demographic that's come through the door. You know what I'm saying? We've also had the African and Caribbean demographic that's come through the door that has all benefited off of these civil rights documents that were put in place for our people, right? And that's something that we really have to have a conversation about, because it's getting to a point where African Americans' needs are not being met at all. We're just being used to get a Democrat into office and then for them to serve the needs of everybody else. And how could I forget about LGBTQ, our queer and gay brothers and sisters? They taking some of our shit too. We will forever be the people that they try to get to use in order to push their agendas out, right? Because as the clear sandbox demographic, right, as the bottom line of this capitalist structure, we are completely disposable. And I think our young Black Americans, they don't understand that. They don't understand how disposable we are as a community. And the reason we're disposable is because we're the bottom line of a capitalist demographic, which literally equals slave, right? So all you got to do to get rid of us is just find new people who are willing to be the bottom line or willing to be the slaves, right? And it looks like they're coming up on that, so we have to talk. So again, I'll say this and I'll say it how it is, man. And I don't really care what any other demographic has to say about it, because this is African American, Black American business, right? Black Americans need to get better at infiltrating systems, right? And we need to get better at assimilating to said system. I understand, because of the history of our ancestors in this country, assimilating to the system that oppressed them is absolutely diabolical, and it's pretty much a no-go in any Black American's mind. But let me tell you why it's important. Assimilating to any system is good because then you have the necessary qualities to take ownership of that system, right? It's going to be kind of hard for you to assimilate to any system or take ownership of any system, right? If you have no idea of how it runs and you have no necessary interest or tie to it, right? If the system is adversarial, which Black Americans have treated the American system for hundreds and hundreds of years because it was that adversarial to us, we're not going to gain any benefits by just sitting here and, beating on our chest, stomping our feet, asking for reparations. That's never going to be how we going to get stuff. And as you guys can see, Ghana clearly was at the UN having a conversation about if we should label slavery a universal, international, global crime. Now, a lot of people are spreading misinformation like this conversation has something to do with reparations, but it actually didn't. The conversation was literally just trying to state slavery as a global crime. Reparations is going to be talked about after that, but that's not what the purpose of this United Nations conversation was about. So all this stuff I'm seeing on the internet about, oh, Ghana's trying to get reparations, that is all propaganda. Ghana ain't coming for our reparations. They just trying to make sure that this stuff is made a crime legally across the globe moving forward. And we know that there's a lot of countries in North Africa that still engage in the slave trade, right? So what Ghana did is going to be beneficial to stopping activity like that that's happening in Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and all these other North African countries, Egypt. And now it's just going to be the time for us as Black Americans to position ourselves to take back ownership of our shit, bro. That's the whole point of this, right? Ghana didn't go out there and try to get slavery, lambasted as a crime globally so Black Americans can struggle. So all the Black Americans I'm seeing attacking Ghanaians right now, attacking the country of Ghana right now, attacking our brothers and sisters from the African continent, you are the FBAs that I was cooking for the past 6 months, and I wanted to stay out of the African diaspora war because honestly, it's a waste of my time and I got too much shit to be doing. But you guys are the fucking issue, bro. You guys are the issue. This is what I say when I say Black Americans, they always complaining about some shit. We always complaining about some shit, but we never bringing it to center stage. Ghana brought it to center stage. Now it's our job to take that shit, run with it, and get what we need out of it while it's hot. And yo, no disrespect for my folks, man, and I'm not trying to, start some petty shit, but ain't y'all the ones that said y'all was native indigenous and had no tie to Africa? Why y'all even involved in the conversation muddying the waters? Man, we need y'all to step to the side real quick. Black men talking. And this is why I will always say, bro, I'm not taking no pro-blackness that's not happening on the African continent serious. If you are pro-black and you talking about some, oh, nah, I don't mean the African continent, you are not a serious person to me, bro. At the end of the day, it took Ghana to bring our issues to center stage. If this gets outlawed internationally, globally, you do realize that will have nothing to do with us as African Americans. That's going to all have to do with our brothers and sisters from the Ashanti in Ghana.
If someone were to ask me what culture I appreciate the most and low-key admire the most, I would say African American culture again and again and again. Especially the whole late 1900s era. Oh my god. The hoop earrings, hip hop, early 2000s. And a lot of people don't really talk about it or give credit where it's due, but I think African Americans, overall Black culture is really the blueprint. A lot of people like to say that African Americans don't have any culture, especially Nigerians. Like, that's a thing a lot of, I'm not saying me, I don't say this, but a lot of other people say, and I don't see that as true at all. Because if I'm being real, as I've observed this planet in different cultures, I feel like everyone in the US has taken a little bit from Black culture. The music, the style, oh my god, the style, the slang, the dances, some of the food, so much. Y'all have low-key copied a lot of shit that African Americans have done. Everyone is low-key inspired by African Americans. And yeah, a lot of people are quick to say they have no culture. Yes, I get there are problems within the African American community that need to be solved. But let's be real, when y'all are doing all those little TikTok dances and all singing to all the rap songs, the music, the YB, y'all are inspired. Let's just keep it a buck. All these people, y'all know who I'm talking about, saying the N-word constantly. Y'all want to be involved so bad. A lot of people, especially here in the US, are low-key inspired by African American culture. They just don't say it. The hoop earrings, the dress style, that new TikTok aesthetic, all that shit stems from African American culture. Ignore my eyebrows, but all people want to see is the negative part instead of the positive.
I'm gonna let the rest of y'all finish, but Black women have been, are, and will always be the blueprint. So let's talk about Women's History Month for a second, because every year around the same time, folks start posting the same handful of names. Like Black women's contribution to this country started and ended at a chapter in a textbook. And don't get me wrong, we absolutely want to honor the legends like Harriet Tubman, who ran military level operations freeing enslaved people, and Madam C.J. Walker, who built a beauty empire and made her the first self made female millionaire in America. But here's the thing that people don't fully sit with. Black women do not just participate in history, we engineer it. From the fields to the front lines to the classrooms and the courtrooms, from kitchens to Congress, Black women have been the backbone holding up a country that is too often pretending like we just don't exist to begin with. And the truth is that Black women have been scientists like Dr. Shirley Jackson, whose research helped lay the groundwork for telecommunications and technology that we still use today. We've been educators like Mary McLeod Bethune, who built schools and institutions when this country didn't even think that we deserved to read. We've been innovators like Marie Van Brittan Brown, yeah, whose work led to modern home security systems. And yes, we've even been organizers like Ella Baker, who taught an entire generation that movements are the strongest when everyday people are empowered. So when people say that Black women are loud or angry or always asking for validation, I want them to remember something. You're not hearing a cry for compliments. You are hearing a sound of people who have been carrying democracy on our backs for centuries. And if we're really going to celebrate Women's History Month, then we have to expand that lens, okay? Because Black womanhood is not just one thing. It's the scientists in the labs, the organizers on the front lines, the trans women who are demanding dignity in a world that keeps trying to erase them too, and the single mother building a future with two jobs and a prayer. The artist who's telling the truth when everybody else wants silence. Yeah, it's also the women who are shaping the future right now. Women like Queen Jean who are pushing the fight towards Black and trans liberation. Athletes like Aja Wilson and Jordan Childs redefining excellence and power on global stages. Entrepreneurs and technologists and organizers across all industries are building the next era of leadership. And then there are the ones that we may not know yet. The healers, the grassroots organizers, the young girls learning their voice on TikTok, in classrooms and in protests and in the boardroom. History is being written by them right now, which is why every time someone tries to reduce Black women's stories to a moment or a month or a hashtag, I just remind them of something simple. If Black women are removed from the story of this country, you wouldn't just lose a chapter, you lose an entire spine of the book. Women's History Month is beautiful, but for Black women, history didn't wait for March, and the future won't wait either. And until y'all understand that, I'll wait.
I have said it before and I will say it again. Black Americans are the blueprint. They set trends in everything. Music. Most of the world's favorite artists are Black Americans. Sports. Some of the greatest athletes we celebrate come from that community. Fashion. Look at the way we dress. Africans, Americans, even people across Europe. Who started those styles? Black Americans. Even the slang we use today, much of it comes from Black American culture. And when you look at the history of America itself, you cannot separate it from the history of Black American growth, culture, who helped build America into what it is today. Black Americans played a major role in that. So let's be honest, in so many areas, Black Americans dominate. And it is time for Africans and the world as a whole to teach people about their influence, their story, and their impact. What surprises me sometimes is seeing some Black Americans not fully recognizing their own value, trying to whiten themselves, not realizing that the world is actually trying to be like them. Have you ever been to Africa? Have you ever listened to how people talk, how they dress, how they carry themselves? All of it is inspired by Black Americans, from their movies, their TV shows, their social media influences. Yes, they influence many Africans here in Africa. Goes to the Caribbean, listen to some of their artists. Some are clearly influenced by Black American accent, styles, and culture. Why? Because there is a perception, real or not, that speaking like Black Americans, dressing like them, or moving like them will increase your perceived value. There is a belief in many African countries and the Caribbean countries, and that is how powerful their influence is. We are all watching their shows, their entertainment. So we can debate all we want, but we cannot deny the truth. Black Americans are the blueprint. And honestly, many Black people today are on the global stage because of the influence of Black Americans. They were able to put Black people in general on the global stage. I personally admire their resilience, their creativity, their fight, their excellence. Whether you are in Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, or anywhere, you cannot deny the impact of Black Americans. Their impact is obvious. The only people who disrespect Black Americans are the ones who don't understand their history or their impact. Me personally, I respect Black Americans deeply. We owe them recognition, we owe them respect, and there is a lot we can learn from them. Their unity, their resilience, their ability to create a new culture, their influence on the world. That is why I talk about their stories so much on my platform, because I genuinely have love for that community. I don't like seeing them disrespected, especially knowing how much they contributed to the global Black identity. Shout out to all Black Americans. Your resilience, your love, your unity, it is what is impacting many of us young Black people wherever we are from, Africa, Caribbean, in Europe. We are mostly influenced by what you're doing, Black Americans. So if you are a Black American and you're really proud of your lineage, you're proud of your identity, I want you to write down there in the comment section, I am a proud Black American. Or you just drop a fist emoji down there in the comment section. So, Black Americans, you've got to love yourselves, your lineage, your skin color, your identity, because that is what is inspiring us. So, that was it for today. I want you to tell me down there in the comment section what you think about this video. Do you agree with the fact that Black Americans are the blueprint? Or you've got other different opinions? Drop them down in the comment section. Mr. TA signing off. Ciao.